Attention passionate Philadelphia Eagles fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Philadelphia Eagles' path to another championship run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before we dive in, if you're a true Philadelphia Eagles fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and fellow Philadelphia Eagles fans. Let's get to the news. All right, Eagles fans, today we have a story that has been making waves across the NFL community, and it involves one of the most talked about players in the league right now, Jalen Carter. Now, if you've been following the Eagles this season, you already know that Carter has been a game changer on the defensive line. The way he has been disrupting offenses, especially as a rookie, has been nothing short of spectacular. But recently, something happened that has sent shockwaves not only through the Eagles fan base, but also across the entire league. And trust me, this isn't just your typical off-season drama. It has something that could influence the Eagles' season in more ways than one. So what exactly happened? Well, it all started during the Eagles' game against the Dallas Cowboys last week. You've probably seen the footage, but for those who haven't, it involved a very heated moment between Jalen Carter and Dak Prescott, the Cowboys quarterback. And let me tell you, it wasn't just trash talk or a simple face-to-face confrontation. No, what really caught everyone's attention was the incident where Carter was caught spitting on Prescott. Now, if you've been around football for a while, you know that such behavior is unacceptable at any level, let alone in the NFL, where professionalism and respect are supposed to be the standards. The aftermath of this incident was swift. The league and the NFLPA took notice, and they quickly handed down a punishment. But what surprised many fans, analysts, and even some insiders is the nature of the punishment itself. Instead of a hefty suspension or a significant fine, Carter was fined exactly $57,222, an amount that corresponds to one game check plus. The NFL considered his ejection from the game as his suspension. That's right, folks. No multiple game suspension, no hefty fine that would make headlines for weeks, just a fine that essentially cost Carter a single paycheck. This decision sparked a lot of debate. Many expected that with such an incident spitting, which is not only unsportsmanlike, but also disrespectful and potentially dangerous, the league might impose a harsher penalty. Some media outlets and NFL insiders speculated that Carter could face a multi-game suspension, especially considering the league's recent efforts to crack down on misconduct and to promote a culture of respect on the field. Remember, just last year, we saw multiple players suspended for on-field altercations or violations of league conduct policies. So why the leniency this time? Well, according to reports from ESPN's Adam Schefter, the league's decision was based on the fact that the incident was isolated, and perhaps they wanted to send a message that conduct like this is unacceptable, but also that it shouldn't define the player's career or character. Now, for fans of the Eagles, this news is a double-edged sword. On one hand, you might feel relieved that Carter's punishment was not more severe after all. He is a key piece of the team's defensive puzzle and a future star. On the other hand, some might worry that this sets a precedent, potentially encouraging more instances of such behavior if players believe the league won't come down hard enough. But let us shift gears a little here. The bigger picture is what this means for the Eagles moving forward, especially as they gear up for their next game against the Kansas City Chiefs, a rematch that, let us be honest, is one of the most anticipated matchups of the early season. The Chiefs, led by none other than Patrick Mahomes, are always a formidable opponent, and their offensive line has historically been one of the best in the league. But this year, after the loss of Joe Thuney in the offseason, their interior protection has shown some cracks. Kingsley Suamataia, their new left guard, has struggled at times, allowing pressures that could be exploited if the Eagles' defensive line brings their A-game. And that's where Jalen Carter's absence becomes so critical. With Carter missing last week's game, the Eagles' pass rush was noticeably less aggressive and less disruptive. Prescott, being a mobile quarterback who thrives under pressure, had more time in the pocket than he probably wanted. That's a recipe for success for any offense, especially one like Dallas's, which relies heavily on quick passes and exploiting mismatches. If Carter had been available, the dynamics would have been different. His ability to collapse pockets from the interior, something he has demonstrated repeatedly this season, could have made a significant difference. But here's the thing: Carter's penalty and the league's decision could influence his approach moving forward. Will he be more cautious? Will he channel that anger or frustration into his play rather than confrontations? That remains to be seen. But what is certain is that the Eagles' coaching staff and defensive coordinator Vic Fangio will need to find a way to compensate for his absence, especially against a high-powered Chiefs offense that features the likes of Travis Kelce and a creative play-calling scheme that keeps defenses on their toes. Speaking of the Chiefs, let us talk about what this game could look like. Last season's Super Bowl rematch is already generating buzz, especially because Jalen Carter will be back on the field, hopefully motivated to make a statement. Remember, Carter was a dominant force in Super Bowl LIX, where he sacked Mahomes twice and played a pivotal role in limiting the Chiefs' offense. His ability to penetrate and disrupt plays is unmatched, and if he can replicate that form, it could spell trouble for Kansas City's offensive line. That unit has been battling some consistency issues, and with Carter's aggressive style, the Eagles' defense could regain some of the dominance they showed during the Super Bowl run. Now, it is important to recognize just how much Carter has grown this season. Coming out of Georgia, he was labeled as a once-in-a-generation talent, and so far he has lived up to that hype on the field. His explosiveness, combined with his football IQ and relentless motor, makes him one of the most feared interior linemen in the league. The fact that he is still a rookie makes his impact even more impressive, and if he can avoid distractions and learn from incidents like last week's, he could become a true leader on that defensive front. But let us not forget the bigger picture here. The Eagles' season isn't just about individual moments or penalties. It is about consistency, resilience, and the ability to adapt after setbacks. This team has shown that they are capable of bouncing back from tough situations, and they have a roster loaded with talent. Jalen Hurts, for example, continues to be one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the league. His dual-threat ability keeps defenses on their heels, and his leadership in the huddle is unquestioned. The receiving core, with A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, is among the best in the NFL, capable of stretching defenses vertically and making plays in tight coverage. The running game, led by DeAndre Swift and the offensive line, has also been a key component of their offensive success. The Eagles' coaching staff, under head coach Nick Sirianni, has been masterful at game planning and adjusting on the fly. So even with Carter missing the upcoming game, the Eagles have plenty of weapons to keep Kansas City honest. But the defensive line's health and discipline will be crucial, especially with the added pressure of facing Mahomes, who is known for his improvisational skills and ability to extend plays. Going back to the league's disciplinary stance, it is worth noting that this incident with Carter isn't isolated in NFL history. The league has historically had a complex approach to player conduct, balancing punishment with the recognition that athletes are human and sometimes let emotions get the best of them. But the league also wants to set a tone that respect and professionalism are non-negotiable. In that sense, the fine may serve as a reminder, a warning even, to Carter and other players that misconduct on the field will be met with consequences no matter how minor they might seem at first glance. It is also interesting to see how this incident impacts Carter's reputation. As a young star with a promising future, one incident like this can be a defining moment, either as a learning experience or as a stain on his early career. The Eagles organization, known for developing players and emphasizing character, will likely be involved in helping him process this event and grow from it. Carter's maturity and ability to channel his emotions into his game will be key moving forward, especially if he wants to be considered one of the league's best at his position. Now, as we look ahead, the next game against Kansas City is shaping up to be a pivotal moment. It is not just a revenge match or a chance to show off their talent. It is a test of the Eagles' resilience and depth. Can they overcome the absence of Carter and still contain Mahomes and Kelce? Can the offense continue to fire on all cylinders against a top-tier defense? These are questions that will define their early season narrative. And for fans, this game is more than just a clash of stars. It is a statement. The Eagles have been building something special over the past few years, and each game, each play adds to that legacy. The way they respond to setbacks, how they handle adversity, and how they execute under pressure will determine their fate in the crowded NFC landscape. With teams like the 49ers, Cowboys, and now the Lions showing serious contender potential, every win counts, and every mistake is magnified. So, in conclusion, while the incident involving Jalen Carter and Dak Prescott might seem like a blip in the big picture, it is a reminder of how intense and emotionally charged NFL games are. It also highlights the importance of discipline and professionalism at the highest level of football. But ultimately, this story is just one chapter in what promises to be an exciting season for the Philadelphia Eagles. The team has the talent, the coaching, and the drive to make another deep playoff run, possibly even another Super Bowl appearance. They've shown resilience before, and they will certainly need to continue doing so if they want to keep their championship dreams alive. Remember, fans, every game is a new chapter, and your support makes all the difference. Keep believing, keep cheering, and stay tuned because the Eagles are just getting started. And now, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I want to hear from you. What is your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Eagles. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Philadelphia Eagles news.